Settling is not an option for me. Everything I desire is already mine. What if you can have it all? Because every day is for the girls.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of For the Girls. I'm your host, Victoria Alario. And today we have Amanda Carluccio on the show, and I am so excited because she is one of the funniest people that I have ever seen on social media. She is mostly known on social media for being funny, essentially. She does comedic skits with her parents, but she's also a podcast host of a show called Unapologetically Myself that she now hosts with her boyfriend. And on there, they dig much deeper beneath the surface. It's not all things funny. They discuss all things life. They keep it real, from love and relationships to mental health and everything in between. So, of course, I got into all of it with Amanda today. We spoke a lot about her mental health journey and her experience with depression, and also her egg freezing journey and how much peace of mind that has brought her as a woman who's mid 30s and not yet married or having kids. And I know that this audience is going to love to hear all about that. Even I love to hear all about that. It was so insightful. I learned so much, and I think that you girls are really going to enjoy hearing about the egg freezing journey. And then we also got to a Dear Victoria submission today about outgrowing your friendships and moving forward without them. Amanda gave some advice with me on that. So stay tuned all the way to the end to hear that. And if any of you girls want advice on a future episode, email me at victoria.forthegirlspodcast@gmail.com. And then please just make sure to make the subject line Dear Victoria, so I know that that is a submission for a potential upcoming episode segment. Anyway, Amanda and I, we're very similar in so many ways, starting with the fact that we are two Italians from the New York, New Jersey area. So, of course, you put us two in a room, you put us on a FaceTime, and we could talk all day long. So, this is a good one. It's a very good conversation that I think you girls will really enjoy listening to. If you are watching on Spotify, please be sure to leave 5 stars on the podcast and a comment on the episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please be sure to leave 5 stars and a review on the podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into the episode. Okay, everyone, please welcome Amanda to For the Girls. I am so excited for this episode, this interview. Amanda, please introduce yourself to the girls and tell us all about what you do.
Yes, thanks. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I am a full-time content creator. I do lifestyle, family skits, comedic skits with my family. People, if you've ever watched, you probably know my father. He wears his pants up to his neck, and he really does. But on top of that, I'm also a co-host for the podcast called Unapologetically Myself, and it comes out every 13th of the month, and I co-host it with my boyfriend. So it's been going well. We just had a therapist on, actually, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just saw that. So it started out being just you, right? The podcast, and then because I was watching the episodes and it was just you, and then I saw it kind of like transitioned a little bit into being both of you co-hosting together.
Exactly. So I started it and it was just me, and then I was like, "Why don't you come on?" Like I told my boyfriend, I'm like, "Why don't you come on?" It's like, as you know, it's easier to talk to somebody than just yourself.
Yeah.
Even though you do great at that when you're just talking. But he came on and it went really well, and we got a lot of views from it. And he's surprisingly like very well spoken. Not surprisingly, he is very well spoken.
The subtle shade.
Hear me in the next room and be like, hey.
He could put a sentence together.
Exactly. And it went really well. And I was like, why don't you come on? Why don't you be like a permanent co-host? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Because at first he was just supporting me, and then he actually really liked it, and we're thinking about changing the name. We're not sure yet.
I think that's a good idea. Like because you started it as just yourself, and now like a little rebrand might be
exactly
in action.
Yeah, we rebranded the colors because at first it was pink and very girly, and I was like, well, now I have you in it. We got to change it up a bit. So
no, I'm here for it. You know what? I have not, in fact, hard launched my fiance on the podcast. Of course, obviously he's been like,
you
know what?
He's been in videos.
He's only ever been a static image guy. Like I've only ever posted photos on Instagram, but he's never been in a TikTok. He's not an on camera kind of guy.
Got it.
And I would love, love, love. I have not yet brought this idea to him, but I would love for my first episode, like post wedding, to be him with me and us like talking through like the wedding together.
Oh,
But
I
he's
love that.
so shy. Like I would so imagine him just like not enjoying it. And like,
Yeah.
you know what? The truth of the matter is, like, because a lot of people have said, like, I've literally seen people be like, if your man really loves you, if he really supports you, like he would want to be in your content. And I'm like, that's like saying if I really loved him, I would want to go work a day job with him and like
Yeah, no, I don't
demolish
believe
buildings.
that.
Like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, he doesn't want to be
100%.
on camera. Like, it's just not his thing, you know?
Exactly. You can have different jobs. Like it doesn't need to be
Completely.
intertwined. Just
Yeah.
because your boyfriend's not in videos with me does not mean
Does
he
not mean
doesn't
he
love
doesn't
you.
like you. Like
Exactly.
yeah, people have this weird concept of like, because I think, well, like you kind of have a family channel in a sense, and like I think because there's a lot of like couples channels and whatever, like people just think like everyone in your life is a prop, and like for me, that hasn't been my content, and
Oh,
so
100%. And well, a lot of people want to put their 2 cents in, especially
yeah,
like now that he's been on, they're like, well, what are you waiting for? Where's the
yeah.
ring? And it's like, we actually talked about it on the podcast. He's like, man, I'm feeling like the pressure. Everyone's commenting. Like, he's like, relax. Everyone needs to relax.
And what the truth is like they're watching their social media as if it's like a TV show, but like if
Yes,
this was their like if they were in your shoes, like they would realize like you're actually moving at a normal pace, like you're actually doing things very normal, like you're not just like a
exactly.
character in a show where they want to like fast forward to the ending. It's like, wait, I'm also like just like living my life through like a regular
Exactly.
Sunday like everybody
This
else.
isn't Love Island. Like,
Yeah. No. And thank God Love Island is over because it has consumed my entire summer. So I'm very
oh my
happy
God.
that
I
it's
recently
ended.
just got into it and I watched the final episode and I was like, I need to see the end. And now I'm obsessed with Amaya and everyone
Oh
else.
my God. Yeah, no. You know what? It's better off that you didn't start from the beginning because it will take
I,
a mental toll on you. I'm
isn't
not
there
kidding.
like 36 episodes or something crazy?
Yeah, I think the finale was episode 37.
Oh my God. That's a lot of
Yeah,
episodes.
it certainly is a lot. And it's a lot internally as
No,
well.
I could imagine if I started from the beginning. I was hooked like on the second to last one. That's when
Yeah.
I started. And now I'm like scrolling, I'm following everyone on Instagram. I'm like, why am I so obsessed with this show? Like, why?
Yeah. No, seriously. But rewinding back a second, I just
Yeah.
mentioned, like you do content with your family. Let me tell you something. You are the only person whose family content I enjoy and that I
Oh
find
my God, thank
funny.
you.
Like, and I mean that so seriously. Like, even just not to like toot my own horn, but even the fact that I would follow your account on Instagram can tell you how, and TikTok obviously can tell you how good your content is because I am somebody who will literally click the not interested thing when like family or like couples content comes up.
Uh-huh.
Like I find
No, thank you so much. I
I just
appreciate
find
that.
everyone so unfunny. And I find everyone very scripted and like very just
Yes.
like corny. And I could just tell it's not genuine. Listen, if your things are scripted, I can't tell because it's so real.
No, thank you so much. It's funny because a lot of the times it's not scripted. Obviously, if we do a brand deal or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
they
yeah.
are. And sometimes, like, my dad will come up with ideas. First of all, he loves being in the videos. He wants a show out of this.
You
Like,
could tell. You could tell.
he is exactly like George Costanza, Joe Pesci, and Danny DeVito in one. Like, that's him in a nutshell. And he's always wanted to be on TV. So he loves doing it. So most of the time, it's really not scripted. It's me just be like, okay, be yourself.
Yeah,
I'm behind the camera. And my mom, most of the time, will be yelling at him. It's just that like old school Italian family. And then
100%.
I'll edit it. Sometimes I'll say, Mom, can you say this? And I've learned actually my mom is pretty good at acting. Sometimes when we do the videos, I'm like, Mom. And like, I really thought she was being serious. And she's like, oh, no, yeah, that was me acting. And I'm like, me and my dad are like, what? She's really good at it.
No,
But
you
for
guys
the most
crack
part,
me up.
oh, thank you. No, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. But for the most part, it's not unless it's a brand deal or
Yeah.
unless it's something that's trending and we
Like a
want to make
trend.
it.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah,
like
if
just
it's
following the
trending,
trend, obviously.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we want to make it funnier than the trend. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you'll tweak it a little bit, but for the most part, I would say it's improv.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it to me that translates. Like I can read that. I think like with like the couple stuff when it's like, they kind of have like listen, the thing about your content is that you're all aware you're on camera. You're all looking at
Right.
you're all talking to the camera. The thing that always throws me off with the couples and stuff is when they like put the camera in the corner and like the person walks in acting like they don't know that they're being
Oh, and
like no, and I'm like, and then I always go to the comments because I'm like, everyone must see this the way I see this, right? And then the comments are like fully like playing into it. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he said that. And I'm like, scrolling, I'm like, does no one see what I see right now? Like, I
Yes,
get so
you can
confused.
tell. You
Yeah.
can tell when there's a skit. Like
Yeah, I
most
get
of the time.
so confused. I'm like, how are people like totally feeding into this? But
Right.
whenever I came across your content, however long ago it was, I'm like, I love these people. And
No,
your
thank
dad
you so much.
looks so familiar, as if like I know that like you're saying he reminds you of these actors, but I'm like, was he on TV? Because he looks like someone from a show, or was he
No,
not?
he wishes. But we get that a lot. Like everyone thinks he looks like what's that not actor, the guy from Shark Tank.
The guy. Oh
Well,
my God, Mr. Wonderful. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
Mr. Wonderful. They
I
say
could
he looks
see
like
that.
him.
I
Yeah.
could see that, but that's not who I'm picturing in my head. I'm
Yeah.
picturing him like in something. I don't know. We got to get him on something.
Yeah,
Then,
he
because-
wishes. Listen, there's a producer out there. Call us up. We gotta get him out.
100%. They're
Yeah.
watching. They're always watching.
Yes.
But as someone who makes, content with your parents, with your boyfriend, I'm curious where the line is drawn, if the line is drawn at all. Like, are there boundaries, or it's like all bets are off? Like, we just throw everything at the wall.
Yeah, 100%. So for me, I don't have boundaries myself. I'm an open book. I'll tell anyone anything. I've talked about on my podcast about how I suffered from depression. I talked about, my exes who have cheated on me in the past. That's just how I was and always am. Like I will tell you anything. As far as other people, like if I go over my dad's house, my parents' house, my dad's house, if I go over my parents' house and they don't want to film or they're tired, like I understand it. I have to keep in mind, like they're not as young as me. They might not want to do content one day, although my dad always wants to. I respect that. My mom, not so much. She'll be like, "Oh, I'm just tired today. I'm not feeling well," and that's totally fine. I'll come back the next day. We'll get the brand deal done this weekend. No big deal. As far as my family, like sometimes you'll see in the videos, my whole family will get in it. I'll say, "Hey guys, I'm going to do a TikTok. If you want to be in it, great. If not, no hard feelings. No big deal." As far as my boyfriend, so at first when we first got together, this was like 2 years ago. I didn't even ask him to be in it. Like I was just like you said, it's separate. He does finance. I do content creation. He does not need to be in the videos. No big deal. When we moved in together, he actually played a prank on me, and that video went viral. He did the like wake up, wake up.
Oh wait, I feel like I saw this, but I feel like I saw you do it to your dad.
I did, and
Okay.
he did it to me, and it actually went more viral than the video where I did it to my dad.
Okay, so I saw
Like-
the one to your dad. I didn't see the one to
I
you.
have to send you the one. I fell like flat on my face, and it was hilarious because it got on camera, and it's now has more views than the first one with my dad, and my dad's like salty about it. He's like, "Can you believe that Stefanos got 45 million views and ours only
Holy
got 23?"
shit.
Oh yeah, he's so mad about it.
Well, no, holy shit that it got 45
Oh yeah,
million views.
don't quote me on that. It might be less. It's like he knows
But
the
a lot.
number. He's
That's
in
a
the
lot.
other room, but it was a lot, and it was more than the other one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure your man, once he sees his video again and 40 million views, he's like,
Yeah,
I could do this a little bit.
yeah, he's kind of hooked a little bit. So
Yeah.
then he started getting into more videos, and it's like once you and he was I consider him shy compared to me because
Yeah.
I'm just an open book.
I know.
And I'll do anything. I'll talk to anybody. But at first he doesn't want to get in all of them, and I don't want him to be in all of them unless he wants to. Like I would never pressure him to do or be in a video. But there's been times like we recently did another video, and it's funny. We're just having fun, and it's kind of something for us to bond to.
Yeah. It's funny because the very small amount of fame like that, I've done some videos where I've utilized my fiance, but we didn't show his face. It's just like his voice off camera. Like couple
Right.
videos I had him like rating my outfit. So it's like the video is just on me, but he's in the background rating my outfit. And then like another one, we did like a taste test of something and it's just showing me eating and he's sitting across from me rating it.
Right.
And those little videos, he's always like, what are the comments saying? And I'm like,
Yes.
well, not much about you. You won't show your face. He like likes to like dabble and see like, did anyone say anything about me? I'm like,
Yes. No,
babe,
he
you
loves
gotta
that.
show your face.
He
Like,
loves that. And that it's so funny because it's like the same with my dad. He'd be like, did you see what they said about your mom? He's like, oh, I don't like that. Wasn't nice. Like he gets like really upset with the negative comments. But my boyfriend too
aw.
will now be like, what did they say? What are people
See,
saying?
I can't put my parents on camera because I'll be fighting everybody if
Oh,
someone
I
said
know.
something
Oh, don't
negative
worry.
about me.
Block. That's what the block's for.
Yeah.
Delete and block.
Oh my God. Like if my dad saw a mean comment about him, like I would
Oh,
have to kill somebody.
no, I know it's the worst. And my dad, well, luckily they don't say anything mean about my dad. I mean, I'm sure there are. I just haven't seen as many.
Right.
A lot about my mom because in the videos, she is yelling or whatnot. And some people just
Right.
don't
But
understand.
she's just playing a part. She's
Of
leaning
course.
in. Oh
Of
my God. People
course.
are so
I
annoying.
promise you, she's like the sweetest woman in the world. But she's hilarious. I mean, she's one of a kind. That's literally how she is. And then some people don't understand that. And the comments that they'll write about her, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I got to
Yeah.
delete that before she sees it because it's just rude. Like, please. We don't need
Aw,
that. We don't need
that's
that
too
energy
cute.
here.
No, we do not. We do not. So speaking of the podcast and your boyfriend starting to be a part of it with you, I want to hear about like how you really ended up making that executive decision from a standpoint of like, okay, this is your boyfriend and this is kind of your business. And I feel like a lot of people have that like there's like the murky like gray areas when it comes to like
Mhm.
investing with a boyfriend, whether it's like starting a business, starting a podcast, starting these things, or even things like personal stuff like buying a house with boyfriend. Like people just always have their opinions on
Oh,
when you like make these
100%.
big moves with a boyfriend.
Mhm.
So how did you like say like, you know what, I'm in on this, like let's do it together. Like where did that really, I guess like just a matter of trust, but like how did that come to be?
Right. No, I totally get that because I had a lot of, I want to say like friends kind of say, "Oh, that's not good. You should probably be engaged before you do that, before you mix things." And I'm like, "Well, you know what? Like this I see a future with him. I'm not going to stop now. I want to, put everything together, see where it goes and go from there." I don't want it like I forget what who said this. I think I saw it in a reel, but it was like if you see a future with someone like kind of you don't need to have two separate things in life. Like kind of bring it together, you grow together. Like
Yeah.
even if you're just boyfriend and girlfriend, like you don't want it separate. You want to come together and then you continue to grow from there, if that makes sense.
Of course it does. And I
Yeah.
feel it's so funny though when you're like, I forget who said this, and then you're like, oh, was it real? Because that's literally me. I'm like, who
Oh
told me
yeah.
this? I'm always like, wait, someone told me this, and I'm like, oh no, that was in my 10-hour TikTok scroll.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, that was in
Um,
my scroll at 3
yeah.
a.m. Is
But
it?
no, I get it. And like I feel like, for me, like I've always like when it comes to certain things, it's like, okay, at what point do you just like kind of like accept and say like, you know what, like what, I'm gonna put off all of these things for the semantics of like whether you're engaged,
Right.
whether you have the ring, whether you're here, whether you're there, like this is something that you're passionate about, this is something you want to do together. It's like go
Exactly.
for it.
Exactly.
And I feel like one of the beauties of like creating content online and like sharing things online is like it's kind of like your open, like it's like your own personal little like diary of like everyone's
Yes.
going along with you, so like now they'll like get to be a part of that journey with you. Like when I started the podcast completely single, did not meet my boyfriend yet, well my
Mhm.
fiance, geez, but I
Yes.
did not meet him yet. I was constantly talking about like my dating stories and being single. And on TikTok, I was always sharing dating stories. Like literally would come home from a date and
Yep.
talk about it. And like I was sharing all of these things, and like it's kind of like having a digital diary. Like I get to look back now on like the progress and like seeing like, okay, went from being single and talking about being like lonely and feeling a certain way to like going on these crazy dates and sharing my dating experiences to then like being like, okay, I met someone, this is going pretty well, to then like sharing that like the
Yeah,
trajectory of
I've
like what
been
comes
following
next.
you for a while, and I remember that. And it's
Oh, okay.
cool, and I'm so happy for you. And then you almost feel like, not that I've never met you, I'm never in person, but this is the first time
Yeah,
meeting
yeah,
you, and
yeah.
it's like I feel like I know you, but
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
I don't. Like
Yeah,
kind of
no. I know
demean me,
what
but
you mean.
it's it's cool to see other women like thriving and
Yeah.
doing what they want in life, you
Yeah.
know? So it's
And
awesome.
being vulnerable, doing all of it, just like sharing
Right.
the reality of your life and taking your audience along with you. And
Yeah.
I think that it's like, it's cool because, it's like at the end of the day, no matter what happens for anybody, it's like we have all of like these, little like pockets of our life documented, and we can reflect and look back on them and be like, oh my God, like it's
Yeah.
kind of like our modern version of like how our parents had like the camcorders like growing up
Oh,
and like
exactly.
filming like everything. Like, I mean, granted, like we, take pictures on our phone, but like just like our own social medias are like our own little versions of that. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
100%. My dad always says like this is so cool. Like, do you know how like lucky you are to have these videos? Like he always says this because when we go, you can look back at these videos. And I'm like, Dad, stop.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like to have all those like memories, like I don't know. You're right. It is a diary that you get to
Y-
keep
Yeah.
and
Well,
hold
that's
treasure.
when it comes to podcasting, that's like really why I love podcasting, is because I feel like, yes, 90%, the majority of our audiences are watching us through TikTok, Instagram, whatever. But what I love about podcasting is that it feels like our own little like private neck of the woods. It's like
Yes.
you really have to be like in it, like the most loyal, like dedicated follower, subscriber, whatever, to be
Oh,
like paying
100%.
attention to the podcast. So it's kind of like I say things on the podcast that I would never say like on TikTok or
Right
on
on TikTok.
Instagram. It
Exactly.
honestly feels like just more private. Maybe because it doesn't like you're not looking at how many views or how many comments. Like it's just like a little bit more private. And
Hmm.
so I feel like in the podcasting world, we're having those deeper conversations. And like you just mentioned, like you've shared like your journey with depression and amongst other things,
Exactly.
and you have shared that on the podcast, and you're
Hmm.
having those conversations that like you, as someone who creates like such funny comedic content, like I feel like your audience doesn't see you as that kind of person, like someone like
Oh,
who deals with
100%.
these things, because yes, you're talking about on the podcast, but on social media and like front facing, you're just so funny and like happy go lucky and whatever. And so I love that you have those conversations on the podcast. And I would love for you to share more about your personal journey and like what you've gone through when it comes to mental health, and like where you're at now,
Yeah,
like how
100%.
your journey has been unfolding for you, really.
Yeah, I think, and I have this whole episode on it. I have suffered from depression, and obviously, it's an ongoing thing. No one's ever cured from depression. It comes and goes. It's definitely a struggle, but I'm where I am now. I'm extremely happy. I first experienced it with my first breakup in high school. Depression ran in my family, so I was just like I felt hopeless. I lost a lot of weight. That was like the first indicator. I had no appetite, and it is a struggle. And back then, when I think it was like '06, like no one talked about it. It was very like hush hush. I didn't open up to anyone about it, so I felt like I was the only one. And I'm so thankful now that everyone talks about it. It's, less taboo. Like you can talk about it. I'm talking to you on a podcast about it.
Right.
I love that because if I had that when I was in high school, I wouldn't have felt so alone like I did. And you shouldn't have to. There's therapy, there's medication that can help. There's so many things that can help. And it's a serious subject. Like it's not something to laugh at. It's not something that, oh, it's a big thing. It's definitely serious, and I'm so happy people talk about it now. So if I can help one person going through it and give them advice or seek help if this is how you feel, then I've done my job. So that's why I
Yeah.
enjoy talking about it on my podcast and
Yeah.
talking about it with anybody who's going through a struggle.
Yeah. And I know you say like back then like no one was really talking about it. So like what did you do about it? Like were you like immediately into like seeking professional help, or did you kind of like suppress it for a while?
I did suppress it for a while, but obviously because it runs in my family, like my mom saw the signs and she took me to see somebody. But I think it would have really helped if, some my friends were going through the same thing. I mean, it's a lot different now. Everyone's on social media, everyone's talking about it. I know back then no one was on social media. I mean, I just gotten my first phone in high school and it was like a Nokia
Yeah, like
that
a
you had
flip
to do like,
phone.
yeah, T9 on to text somebody. So that's why I'm so happy today, especially for younger kids. Yes, with social media, there comes bullying and all that, but I also think it's good in the fact that people can talk about these, um, depression or, suicidal thoughts, something like that.
Yeah. You mentioned that your mom saw those signs in you, and you also
Mhm.
spoke in that podcast episode about what your personal signs were. I would love if you could share some of them, because I think that there are people who, whether they dismiss it or they just don't even know that it's a sign. They think it's just normal that they feel this way, and they don't even realize that it may be a sign of depression or any other mental health issue. What were those signs for you that had, your mom raise
Yeah,
those flags and
no,
say,
definitely.
let's look into this?
For one, I like self isolated. I would come home from school. I wouldn't want to do anything. I wouldn't want to go to dance. I wouldn't want to do my regular activities. I also had no appetite. Like that's a big thing. I know if some people eat a lot when they're depressed, or some people eat not at all. I'm one of those people that don't eat at all. And I know like if I'm depressed, I have no appetite. So that's a big indicator, like extreme weight loss or extreme weight gain. That was a big indicator of it. And just hopelessness. Like I was always crying and I was always sleeping. That's a big one. I would just sleep like every night because like I just didn't want to deal with like the pain. And then I also would have anxiety pain like in my left chest. Like it would be so annoying. I would have to take something for it to go away. So
Yeah.
those were like the indicators.
That actually, you know what? That was the one of the things that you said in the episode, about having that chest pain and feeling like an elephant was sitting in your chest.
Oh my God, it was
That is
awful.
how I have not had an anxiety attack in a while, but when I have
Mhm.
had anxiety bad, and I've had a couple of little anxiety attacks, that was how I felt, like that pain in
Yeah.
my chest. And the very first time it ever happened to me, I was in college, and
Mhm.
I actually went to I would say emergency room, not the emergency room. I went to urgent care and I had an EKG because
No,
the
totally.
pain was so bad in my chest that
Mhm.
I guess I had told my mom, like I mentioned, like,
Did you
I
think
was
you
like,
were having a heart
yeah,
attack?
and they were like, you need to
Mhm.
go and see if you're having a heart attack. And so I went, and they were like, you're like as clear as a cucumber, like you're
Right, right.
not clear as a cucumber, cool as a
No, I
cucumber, clear. Yeah, I love a
no,
clear
I know what
cucumber,
you mean.
cool as a cucumber. But they're like, no, you're completely clear. Uh, like that's actually a sign of having an anxiety attack. And like I
Yes.
had just moved into school for my last year, like my senior year, so it must have just been like a lot. And that was the first time I ever experienced it. I have had that happen a few times after, but then like I at least knew where it was coming from. And
Right.
like it's so crazy that like you physically feel it. It's not
Oh,
just like, oh, I'm
100%.
emotionally sad. It's like, no, I'm in physical pain. Actually, like that
Oh,
pain in
you
my
are,
chest
yeah.
is unreal.
Yeah, you think you can't breathe. I've had panic attacks before too. It's like you really think you're having a heart attack, or what I would think a heart attack would feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. To
Yeah.
the point where, and what, I was in college, I was like 20, 21, like, and
Yeah.
I'm like, am I having like an early state, like early onset
Oh,
heart
yeah.
attack? Like, it's so
It is
scary.
scary. It definitely is scary. But I'm happy now that people talk more about it so you don't feel alone. Like
Yeah.
I love that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
I feel like the more that we speak about these things and share these things, and you know what, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that I've ever shared that on the podcast. I know, like, I've openly talked about it with people, but I just don't think
Right.
that I've ever shared it on social media. And I think that
Well,
the
I'm
more
happy you
that,
shared it with me. Thank
yeah,
you.
I think that the more that people hear people that they watch on social media, like living a great life, or being funny, like all of these things, and like
Mhm.
the more that they hear people like you and me talk about it, it's like, oh wait, Amanda went through that too, Victoria went through that too, like,
Right.
not to sound
It,
like, oh,
no.
it's perfectly
Okay.
fine if they did it, then that's cool. It's like, no, it's just like it makes people realize, like, oh, like, I, these people are only sharing online, like, the funny things and what they want to share, but they're also real people who behind the scenes like go through shit like this too.
Exactly. It's like we're still human. Yes, I make people laugh, but that's also why I do it too.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten many DMs where people have messaged me and they're like, you don't understand. I couldn't even get out of bed this week. And your videos are the only thing that have like kept me going. And like,
Yeah.
I'll like, sometimes I have chills now. Sometimes I'll
Yeah.
see the videos or the DMs and I'll send it to my dad. And I'm like, wow, like I need to keep doing this
Yeah.
because as someone who suffers from depression, I understand that. I know what it's like not to want to get out of bed,
Yeah.
to feel hopeless. Like,
Yeah.
so if I can help somebody just by doing the videos that I do, I'm going to continue to do it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I think it's a very important message for, all of the girls to hear. And I think there's a lot of important messages that you shared on your show that I had listened to. And one of which was on your episode about being 35, unmarried and childless, which is funny because I think about 2 years ago, I also have a podcast episode that's called like the fear of being undateable when you're unmarried by your late 20s.
Yeah.
And this was before I just got into my relationship with my fiance. And this was before I like shared that I was even in a relationship at all. So I was really talking from like a single standpoint at, 27, 28 years old. And like at an age where like I thought, and you said this in your podcast where I'm like, I thought I was going to have kids by now. Like I thought I was like, for sure I'll be married by 27 years old. Are you kidding? Like, especially, I'm sure your parents were married young. Like my parents were married. Like my whole family was married young. So like when you
23, my parents got married.
Yeah, like when you grow up surrounded by that, and you're like, "What's wrong with me?" Like,
Exactly.
so moral of the story. I shared a similar message on my podcast, and I loved listening to yours. And the reality is that so many women feel alone in that, like in being unmarried and childless by in their 30s, but yet at the same time I would say most women are like, I feel like most people are actually not in relationships and married with kids, you know what I mean?
It's true.
It's like we feel alone, but yet it's actually so common.
There's a lot of people my age that are still single and looking.
Yeah. I would love for you to share whether it's just like your mindset or your advice on like, I know that you're in a relationship, but like, still the message stands true. So what kind of advice do you have for women who are in those shoes that like find themselves getting older, hitting their 30s, and just like, they're like, I'm getting older, but I don't think I'm getting closer to having, the marriage and kids.
I totally understand that because I literally, when I tell you, I used to think about having kids literally every day and it would consume me in my 20s because like you said, I thought by 23, I'd be married. I'd have my first kid at 25. Like we have this timeline. And I think most women, I don't think all, but most women think like this. Like they have this timeline and it's just, there's no rush. Everyone has their own timeline. Like stop comparing yourself to others. Like the biggest advice I could give to someone is just at the end of the day, you just want to be happy.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize that like kids weren't going to make me happy. Marriage wasn't going to make me happy. I had to be happy within myself in order to feel confident and in order to just live life. Cause I was constantly like being consumed with, oh my God, I'm getting older. And it would just drive yourself nuts.
Yeah.
So, but if you do feel like that, and what I would say to the girls, and if you can afford it, and if you want to do it, it is pricey. Freezing your eggs definitely helped like with peace of mind for me. And I did it at 33. I'm 36 now. But yeah, of course I still like, I'm like, all right, I'm 36. But when I talked to the doctor, when I went to freeze my eggs, she was like, don't worry, you're healthy. Like they look at your eggs, they look at your egg reserve, they do all that. And it gave me more peace of mind. And I'm really happy I did it. Because after that, I was like, oh, I felt like there was such a weight that was lifted off of me. And I didn't feel the pressure of like, oh my God, I need to have kids now.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy I did that.
I know. And you know what? It's so crazy that women have to go through that. Robert De Niro is like 90,000 years old and has like a
70 years old.
Yeah, like what? No, I think he's older than that. I feel like he's in his 80s.
Oh my God. Wait, I recently met him.
I'm gonna look this up. Did you?
Premiere, which is hysterical.
Wait,
like right after you had the baby.
De Niro is 81 years old.
Wow. Okay.
He's 81 years old and I'm pretty sure has a damn near newborn. But no, not women. Like, of course, like we have to
I
spend
know.
the tens of thousands of dollars and put ourselves on a million hormones, and that's just
And
another
that's
day
the
in the
thing,
life.
exactly. And it's expensive, and it's like if you are feeling this way,
Yeah,
the good news is you can
it's an
finance
option.
it. Exactly, it is an option. You can finance it. Sometimes even jobs will cover it for you. Like
Oh,
sometimes like your benefits, your employee benefits will cover it. So it's always an option. You can always ask.
yeah.
But
And even aside from that, which we're going to get into the egg freezing journey right now. I want to ask about that in more detail.
yeah,
But even aside from that, I want to go back 1 second because you said something that was just like, marriage wasn't going to make me happy. Kids wasn't going to make me happy. Like, no matter what, I had to just be happy on my own. This is
exactly.
something someone shared this like advice with me, a coach that I worked with a few years ago. And like, since then, it's like, when someone just says one of those things that just like stick with you forever.
Oh yeah,
And it was just like, you have to live your life happy and content as if like what if the truth is you never meet your person, like what if the truth is you never get
exactly.
married and you never have kids, and she was like, you're coming to me, and at that age I think I was like 25, 26, and she's like, you're coming
Hmm.
to me at 25, 26, talking these things through, feeling lonely, feeling like whatever the case is, like I wish that I was married by now, and at that time no prospects, didn't even meet my fiance by then, like wasn't even living home. I was actually living in Florida. Like my life was completely
Ooh,
different.
nice. I
And
didn't know you lived in Florida.
what'd you say?
I said I didn't know you lived in Florida.
Yeah, pre TikTok. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I and and she's like, you're coming to me about all this at like 26 years old. What if you don't meet anybody? Like, what
Yeah.
if you live another 70 years alone?
Hmm.
Are you going to live the whole rest of your life miserable and hoping and wishing and seeking and this and that? Like, you have to live your life as if this is it. This is as good
Exactly.
as it's going to get. You and you alone. And that's that. You have to live your life content and okay with knowing that, like, if it's only me, I'm still good. And that
Yep.
was a very hard pill to swallow. And it had made me really emotional at the time. And like, at first, I was very like I really like rejected that. I was very like pushback of like, I will not accept that. Like
Right.
I cannot live my life like never being a wife and never being a mom. Like all I
Right.
ever wanted in life was to be a mom. But then when I really like got over myself and sat with it, I'm like, but what if that was the case? Like what am I gonna
Mhm.
do? Just like die miserable and like never be happy in my life? Like I
Right.
still have friends, I still have family, I still have a business, I still have a life, like I still have things that I could look
Yeah, and you
forward
still
to.
have fun. Like you
Yeah.
still.
And so that really like flipped a switch for me in my brain, and I like just I mean, I made happiness a mission. Like I made it a goal. I made peace a goal. And like after that is like around the time when I moved back home, I wanted to be closer to family. Like I just felt like, you know what? Like I'm chasing all this stuff when really all I need to chase is just like my own peace and happiness. And like I
That's
swear
100%. I agree with that.
after like getting into that mojo and feeling good and like moving back home and being my family and just feeling whole by myself, that was then when I met, him.
Yeah, and it's funny because they always say, "Oh, you meet them when you least expect it," and I always hated that.
Listen, I still hate that because I was always expecting it. I was always
Well, me
like,
too. I was like,
the next man who meets me is gonna want to wipe me up right away.
exactly. I'm like, I'm going out tonight and I'm meeting my husband. That's always how I was.
Listen, I
Except
get
that
what you're
one night.
saying, but trust me, I still hate that. I hate
Yeah,
that.
no,
And
I
I will
do.
never say that to anybody. I will
Oh,
never
I
tell
know, and I
anyone.
won't. Even I will never say that because I always hated that. And I actually have a podcast episode where I'm like,
I
what
think
not to
you
say
said
to your
it. Yeah,
single
I
friend.
think you said it in that episode about like being unmarried. I think you said,
Exactly. Oh,
yeah,
yes. I was like, do not say this.
yeah.
It's rude.
You gave a literal list. It was like the
I did.
Declaration of Independence. It's like, don't
Mhm.
say this, don't say that. It's like the new Constitution. And it's so
Exactly.
true because there's just like, people are so, you know what? It's always also the people who've been married for 25 years. And I'm
Oh,
like, you know what? Don't need your advice because you haven't been in
no,
this
because they
dating
don't
game.
understand. They haven't
Yeah.
been on one single dating app. I don't
No.
want to hear it.
They haven't been on social media. No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know. So it's like no. But
It's
I understand obviously the underlying message of like it really happens. Like yes, there was that time where I was putting so much pressure on myself and it didn't happen, and then I
Mhm.
finally like was happy and then it happened. So like,
Yeah.
I get the overall message.
Yeah. We get it, but we don't like it.
Yeah. It's like fine, you've made your point.
Exactly.
But going into the egg freezing journey, you said something in the episode of where you shared the story about like the doctor said something about there never being like a perfect age.
Right.
And it like really brought like you a sense of peace. And like you said before, sorry, it brought you a sense of relief. And like you said
Yeah.
before, the peace of mind. I would love for
Mhm.
you to explain what that means. Cause I think that the understanding is that there's a perfect age and like you can be too late, but you said you were 33. So like, what is the whole age thing for, to your understanding?
Yeah. Well, when I went, and again, I'm not a doctor, but
Right.
the doctor told me obviously like it is better to have younger eggs, but there's no perfect time like or age to freeze them, if that makes sense. Like, yes, your eggs are younger at 25, but everyone's different. And I didn't know this. Like every time you have a cycle, you can have more eggs in one cycle than the
Oh,
next, which is interesting. So every time like someone does the first half of IVF or they do the egg freezing, like if I go in, you have to wait for your cycle and then they'll look at your egg reserve and you can one time you can have 20 eggs and then the next cycle you can have like 5. So it's
okay.
very difficult. It's very everyone's different. They said there's no perfect age. Obviously, the younger you are, the better, but also not really because it depends on the person. Because
Yeah.
someone who's 25 could have low egg reserve than someone who's 36. So when I talked to her, she said, I have people coming in who are 40 freezing their eggs. And that made me feel a little better. You know,
Yeah.
I did it when I was 33. So I have my 33 eggs still frozen. I have 11, which is a good number.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a whole process, and I can tell you a little bit about it. But basically, from start to finish, I want to say it was about probably like a month when you go in for the consultation. Then you have to go in, you have to wait for your period. Once
Okay.
you get your period, you call the nurse coordinator. She has you come in the next day. They look, make sure everything's good, make sure they call them egg follicles. So they make sure they're growing. Uh, and at that time, I had about 20, 24, which is a good number because when they take them, they usually only take about half. And I didn't know this. There's actually a procedure. So after you inject yourself, I injected myself for like 12 days with 2 injections. And then the last day, which was day 12, I had to take the, oh my God, what is it called? The trigger shot. So which
Okay.
makes your eggs drop. And then you go in for procedure. They put you under anesthesia. It's only a 15-minute procedure. Take your eggs out. They tell you how many you have. So they were able to take out, I want to say 19 of mine. And then the next day, you can go back to work. It's really easy procedure. Like there's a little cramping, not too bad. Then the next day, they tell you how many matured, and you can only freeze the matured eggs. So they were able to retrieve 19, but they only took 11 out. Only
But
11.
that's a good big
It is a
ratio.
really good number, and I'm happy with it because I know a lot of people, unfortunately, sometimes they go in, they have only gotten 4 matured. Some people get way more. Some people get 25 that matured. You know, that's why it's all different. And that's why they say there's no like specific age to do it because every time your cycle's different. Every time it depends on your age, it depends on your egg reserve. There's all these factors that go into it. Um, but yeah, I got 11 because the 11 matured, and then I kind of forget about it until I get a bill for the egg freezing because you get a bill every month. I'm like, here we are
Oh my
because you have
God.
to pay to keep them frozen.
Oh shit.
Yes.
You pay every month for the rest of.
No, no, not monthly. They
Oh.
send me one for the year, and it's
I'm
I
like,
think
oh my God, you're paying rent
oh God,
for
no,
eggs?
that would suck. So, but I will say I did care credit. So I do pay monthly. It's not paid off yet. Hopefully it will be soon. For the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
just to be transparent, it was 12,000. So I'm
Okay.
still paying that monthly, but it's 1,200 a year to keep them frozen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So now how does that work timeline wise? Like how long will I get it like you're paying for them, but is it like they'll keep them frozen for as long as you're paying them or there's like a deadline on when you have to use it? Like
Yeah. I mean, I know because I've asked this too.
like
It's
it's
the
like do
most
I just pay this forever if I choose?
and sometimes I get nervous. I'm like, what if someone like, I don't know, goes in and hijacks the place and
No,
takes all the
stop. That's like
eggs?
such a nightmare. Oh my
No,
God.
like I always think about this. Um, But well, rarely I think about it because it's so crazy how much peace of mind it gave me. Because now I'm like, and I would never think about this before. Like, as I literally thought about it every day. Like now that I did it, I'm like, I'm happy. I'm like, great. If I can have kids, great. If I don't, great. And I would never be like that because I feel like my sole purpose is to be a mother. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm finally happy where I am. And it's just
Yeah.
such a difference and it's such a like peace of mind that gave me to freeze my
Well, it
eggs.
gave you the feeling of like control over the situation.
Exactly.
You probably felt
Exactly.
like you had no control over it. And like
Hmm.
prior to having the ability to do egg freezing, women probably did feel like they had no control over it. And I think that's why women married the wrong men because they're like,
Yes.
I want to be married and I want to have kids and my biological clock is ticking. So
It's
let me
chicken.
just, take whatever suitor I have available. And I think that's why a lot of women ended up in toxic, unhealthy
Hmm.
relationships. Hence why a lot of couples end up divorced. I will say, I feel like the divorce rate is probably reflective of the past and of the fact that like people were more likely to get married because there were less options of like
Oh,
financial stuff and the
100%.
kids and whatever, like all that. Like I just think in the past women didn't really have that many options, and I feel like
No,
now we
exactly.
do. And so I think having that control over yourself, I think, is probably the best thing that
Well,
it
yeah,
just gives
that's
you
why
that
I'm like,
feeling.
it's crazy how much like I don't think about it as much. And
Yeah.
it's also like a backup plan. Hopefully I never have to use them, but it's nice that it's
Oh, okay. So it's like as of right now, it might not even be your intention to use them, right?
there.
Like you might not have to
100%. Yeah, like hopefully when I do try, I can get pregnant naturally. If
naturally.
not, I have those frozen.
Okay. I
And
didn't even think of
sorry,
it like that.
exactly, yeah. And sorry, going back to your question because I didn't answer it. When I asked the doctor, so I just keep paying yearly, and
Oh,
then
right. Yeah.
whenever I want to use them, um, that's basically how it is. So I keep paying yearly to keep them frozen. Uh, it's like 1,200 a year, and I forget about it until they send me the bill, and then I guess I'm thinking this is it because I remember reading about it. But again, I did this when I was 33 and I don't exactly remember. And I'm 36 now. But they said that if you want to eventually get rid of them, you can discard them or give them to science. Like, say, I know it's a little crazy, right? And then someone told me, well, can't you give them to someone? And
Like,
it
can you
didn't
like
say that.
donate them?
Yeah, it didn't say that on the form when I was filling it out. So that I don't know about.
Okay.
Yeah. I
All
don't want
right.
to give them to
You
anyone.
know what? Let's not even worry about that right now. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, but
Exactly.
that's good to know because I didn't even think of it like that. Where it's like you freeze the eggs, but like you also hope that you can still get pregnant naturally. It's not
Uh-huh,
only
100%.
okay.
And that's
Okay.
the thing. It was kind of like a backup plan because who knows when I'm going to start trying and say I
Yeah.
start trying and you hear all these stories and
Yeah.
about people. It's hard. Like people have been trying for years and
Yeah.
whatnot, and it was just kind of like then I heard all these stories and I got even more nervous and I just psyched myself out.
Yeah.
And it gave me such peace of mind and lifted this weight that I didn't even realize I had.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could finally breathe after it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so crazy to think because if you would have said to me, do it and you won't think about it anymore, I'm like, you're crazy because that's all I thought about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like now I like don't even, I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm happy.
Yeah. Aside from that feeling of like the peace of mind, I'm sure that there was still just like more emotions and feelings physically and emotionally from doing it. Like how taxing was doing the egg freezing like on you? Like I know it was
Oh
a
yeah.
whole process, so like I don't know what your body goes through. You're on a lot of hormones. I don't know how you feel throughout doing all of it. Aside from just
Oh
like
my
okay,
God.
here's the happy ending. Like how was it throughout?
Yeah, well, physically, it's a lot. And I give credit to, the women going through IVF that have to do this multiple times because it is not for the faint of heart. Like you feel bloated all the time. They're injecting you with like the pregnancy hormone. So your body's almost mimicking being pregnant.
Right.
Which for the most part, for some of it, I felt happy, but then I'd be sad one day, and then I'd be angry another day, and then I'd be mad because I'm like, why am I doing this? I wish I found someone, blah, blah, blah. And it was just when I had met Steve. So he knew I was going through with it. And he was supportive of it. But it was the whole like, I wish I didn't have to do this. And then mentally, it was draining because you would have to wake up every day to get blood work before work. And then I would go to my 9 to 5. And it just like, you felt almost isolated and alone doing it. If you're doing the egg freezing, I can't speak for anyone else, but that's how I felt. Like I was very like, oh, I'm doing this. This sucks. I looked at my friends. It's hard not to compare because you look at everyone else and you're like, oh, well, they found someone. They're lucky they don't have to do this. So it definitely was mentally like draining too. It took a lot out of me, but at the end of the day, I'm really happy I did it.
Yeah. Was there anything that like you couldn't do? Could you like not work out? Could you not take medication? Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they say actually to not work out because they wanted the egg follicles to grow inside you, and like just doing like strenuous activity,
Uh,
I don't know, could maybe like prevent it from happening. So I didn't work out, and that's a good chunk. That's 12 days you can't work out. Technically more than that because it was 12 days of injections. Nothing fit me because I was so bloated because they're actually injecting hormones so that these eggs will enlarge. So it's easy for them to extract it
uh-huh.
during the procedure. So you feel pregnant, you're acting crazy because you're on all these hormones. Also, my tits were massive. So that's like I literally felt like you were pregnant, and then but you're not. So it's like
Oh my God,
it's
that's probably so like emotionally, like mentally, like fucked up.
it was. But I will have to say, like at the end of the day, I would do it again if I had to. Like if they're really, because I know people do it for IVF.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost the first part of IVF. I know there might be a little things that are different, but essentially that's the beginning of
So
IVF.
if you ever had to do IVF, then you already have that part down.
Yes, I have that part. Then the
Uh
second part, and of course they ask for more money, would be to take, and I
his
don't know, I'm
side
not
and
a
all
doctor,
that.
but his
Yeah.
sperm, and I don't know, somehow they put it together.
Right. Okay.
I don't
So
know how
like
it all works.
you not saying that you would need to, but if you ever needed to, like
Yes,
you
if.
already have half of it done. Okay, so that's like pretty cool to know too.
Exactly. Yeah, it was very interesting. I will say, like, I learned a lot about my body, and I didn't know we produce like a certain amount of eggs every month, but then only one drops and the rest die out, which is crazy. Like, I didn't know that. I was 33 at the time. And then so they actually take the eggs that were supposed to die out during your cycle to keep them, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's like, it's crazy.
Right. So, you said, okay, so I guess in that, when I keep referring back to that podcast episode, sorry for those who didn't listen, you're gonna have to go listen, but like it's something that I watched, and so like now
Yeah,
like
no, thank you.
I'm using it
Appreciate
to
it.
go back to, and so you said in that episode like that at that time, or I don't know if it was at the time of when you filmed it, but it was just like a time that you were referring to. You were saying that like being 35, I know you're 36 now, but you were like
Mhm,
being 35 and childless, was like your biggest
mhm.
insecurity. But
Yep,
now you seem like that's not necessarily the case, like I would love for you to just share, I guess, where you're at now with that. Like now, you're 36 and still childless, but yet you
exactly.
feel better. So like I would love for you to share for the girls who are in those shoes, like how, you come out on the other side and like you could still feel good.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because if you had told me when I was that age, like 33, I felt like that was a really big insecurity of me. Like I was like everyone else around me, it seems so much further ahead than I am. But at the end of the day, I just realized that being happy is more important than anything.
Yeah.
And I can finally say I am happy with myself. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy career wise. And it's just, that's all I want in life now. Like I understand, like at the time I was like, this is going to make me happy. This is going to make me happy. Like I was chasing something that I couldn't control.
Yeah.
So then right after I froze my eggs, I'm not saying this is like end all be all, but it definitely gave me peace to kind of focus on myself and where I was going. And then things kind of just fell into place. So
Yeah.
like my advice would just be like really just work on yourself. And like at the end of the day, you're right. Like what if you don't meet the love of your life? What if you don't have kids?
Yeah.
You have to really think about it and be all right with just saying, hey, this is my life and I'm going to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Yeah. I like that you brought up the career thing, because I do think too, like people don't put as much like stock and emphasis onto their career because like it's just like about money. But I think at the end of the day, like we spend so much of our day working, we
Mhm.
spend so much of
Oh
our
my,
time on our career that it's like, if you are, say that you are unhappy because you're single, you don't have kids, whatever the case is, and then you
Mhm.
also like on a daily basis, you're like clocking into a job that you hate. You're passionate about certain things, but like you're not getting to spend any time doing those things because like you just all you do is spend your time working on XYZ. Like I feel like
Mhm.
that's a recipe for a miserable life. And it's like you
100%.
can't live your life like that. Like I think like not only did you take the power into your own hands and the control and doing, the egg freezing, but you also have created your career like online with like the content and
Mhm.
whatever. And like I feel like all of these things, like you mix that all together and it's just like, like it just probably feels like such a weight lifted off your shoulder where it's like you get to do what you enjoy doing every day.
Yes.
You feel good about your circumstances, in your life right now. And I do think that like a lot of our life we are in control of. But I think that a
Mhm.
lot of people, whether it's just like the way that we were raised, the way our parent, like anything that someone's parents
100%.
put in their heads, like whatever the case is, a lot of people think like this is just life. There's nothing I could do about it. But like there's so much you can do
No,
about
that's
your
not
life.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can.
there's
You can
so much.
control how you react to things
Yeah.
and like how you, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like react in the sense of like how you can change your perspective
Yeah.
of how you feel
How you
or
just approach the world and how you approach life. Like I just feel like
exactly.
if you constantly live your life thinking like as if I'm such a victim and this is just the way the cards were dealt for me, like you're never going to be able to get yourself out of that slump.
Exactly. And that's how I felt a lot of the times in my 20s. I just kept thinking this and this and this. And I think the whole reason, I mean, don't get me wrong, it took me a while to get here, but it was my mentality that changed. Yes, the egg freezing gave me peace of mind, but I also was like, hey, you know what? I am 33. If it never happens, I need to be happy. And I'm not going to live my life continuing to think like this. I want to enjoy it now. Like you
Yeah.
want to enjoy the present.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna wrap two things. One, I want to know what message you would have for your younger self, having gone through all of this, and I want you to really like pull the lens back and like think about all of this, like having gone through your mental health journey from such a young age, and like you said, it's never ending. It's something that you're still going to be dealing
Right.
with, as time goes on. Becoming an online sensation, not only by yourself, but with
Well,
your
thank you.
parents, which I'm sure you never imagined happening for you
No.
and your family, to then starting, businesses with your boyfriend, creating the podcast, freezing your eggs, like just everything, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self?
I would just be like, it's going to be okay. You don't need to rush because it's all going to work out. And at the end of the day, you just want to be happy. And
Yeah.
that's 100% true.
Yeah. It's just like slow down.
Yeah,
Just
it's slow
relax.
down and like forget the timelines.
Yeah.
Don't listen to a timeline. Everyone's timeline is different and stop comparing yourself to others.
Yeah, I literally just put out, I don't know if it was this week or last week. I just put out a podcast episode. What was the title? Um for the girls. Oh, no, it was a couple weeks ago. For the girls who are worried about their timeline. It's from June 23rd,
Oh, wait, I want to
2025.
listen to it.
Yeah, for the girls who are worried about their timeline is the title, and it came out a couple
Okay.
weeks ago, and that's exactly what I'm talking about in it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm reflecting in the episode back to when I was like, 24 years old, and at that time thinking like it was going to be the end of the world, like if I wasn't married
Oh,
yet. Keep in mind,
100%.
I'm 30 now, and I'm thinking back to like who I even liked when I was 24 years old, and I'm like, God forbid. God
No, I
forbid.
know, right?
It's like, oh my God.
Seriously. Because imagine you had a kid with that one.
Yeah, no, seriously, God forbid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that goes hand in hand with that.
Mhm.
And like I said, we're going to wrap it up, but I would love for you to share some advice with me. I have a Dear Victoria segment that I
Oh,
do
yes,
at the
yes.
end of my episodes. And it's been a while since I've shared one. And so I finally just got a new one right in time to interview you. And I feel like you would be the perfect person to assist me
good.
on this. So I'm going to read it and then you could take it away.
Yeah.
Dear Victoria, lately I have found myself in a season of growth where I feel like I'm outgrowing certain friendships and the circles I've been a part of. I still care deeply for these people, but I've noticed I no longer enjoy gossip the way I might have in the past, and sometimes I even feel the urge to distance myself altogether. What I struggle with is expressing how I feel without being labeled as boring or too serious and being told that I'm overthinking something that's just harmless fun. To me, being a good friend means protecting others, their privacy, their dignity, and assuming the best in people unless proven otherwise. I want those around me to feel safe, respected, and loved. And lately, I've been feeling this shift in my soul, a deep discomfort around what I now recognize as mean girl energy. I used to brush it off, but I can't anymore. Do you have any advice on this kind of emotional shift or friendship transition? Making new friends in your 30s is so hard, and I'm noticing I'm yearning for healthy sisterhood and friendships.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I would say, look, as you get older, you don't need people, first of all, who give out mean girl energy. Like, that's just not nice. Also, you don't want to be with someone that doesn't give the energy that you're thriving for. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. If you're not friends with your high school friend, you don't need to be. Like if you're not growing with them and see the same values and there's a disconnect, that's okay. Your circle can get smaller and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think, as you get older, you mature and you realize, look, these people aren't really my people anymore. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's,
I feel like people hold on to those friendships simply because of the history. And it's
yeah,
just
oh
like,
yeah.
it's like, oh, well, we've been through so much together. We know each other for
Right.
so long. So, like, you stay friends out of the
Right. But
convenience.
if they're not lifting you up or they don't have the same values as you anymore, then there's really no point. And that's
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to be mean about it, but you can distance yourself. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And she
Right?
had mentioned in her email that she's 34. And so she was saying, like, it's hard to make friends, once you're in your 30s. And like, I get that because like it certainly is, it is hard to make friendships.
Oh
But
yeah.
I really think that it kind of is similar to what we were even saying about like the unmarried thing. Like you have to take the pressure off of even that too. And just like let the chips fall where they may. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like when we put this pressure on ourselves to like find happiness and like whatnot in other people. And like she says, like, I'm really seeking that like sisterhood or whatever. Like, I get it because like you want to be able to have those people. But like
Yeah.
when there were seasons in my life where I felt a little disconnected from friends and like I was really trying to like find friend groups, like I felt myself trying to like force friendships, upon me. And like there were
Yeah.
people I would like get excited. I'm like, say I met a girl and I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do this. And then it's like that
Right,
didn't
right.
happen. Then I'm like, oh, like you know what I mean? It's like you just like
Mm-hmm.
get excited, you want to like make a friend and like whatever. It's like you have to just not put the pressure on yourself to like rely on really anyone for anything, which is like kind of the sad truth. I
That's
actually
true.
just put out, this is funny because this one came out literally yesterday. So
Oh really?
July 14th is an episode called For the Girls Who Feel Lonely in Their Growth Era. And so
Oh, that sounds
that
good. I love your
you're like
titles.
taking notes, like, okay,
I'm
I'm
not,
gonna
yeah, I
listen to this, I'm
have
gonna listen to
wrote it.
that. For the girls who feel lonely in their growth era. And that one is essentially saying kind of what you just said, where it's like, you may be growing on this path, but that doesn't mean you're growing together. And like you might grow
Exactly.
apart.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could be cordial. You don't need to, be mean or anything. Just distance yourself if you feel like it's sucking your energy.
Yeah. And I also like, I don't know about you, but I also feel like it's kind of normal. Like, listen, I do have great friendships, but like we don't even
Mhm.
see each other. We like text. I'm like, I
Oh yeah,
barely
I
even
know.
see
And
my
then it's like
friends.
when you see them, it's like nothing ever happened.
Right.
Like
It's like
nothing ever
nothing
changed.
ever changed. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And
So
I
I
do have friendships like that. And
yeah.
those are great
Yeah, it's
for
like I
sure.
have great friendships, but like, do we make the time to hang out every weekend? Absolutely not,
No.
So
Well, that's a big thing too. It's hard to find time
yeah,
to meet, especially in your 30s.
yeah,
Like because so and so has kids, and I get that. Being a mom is super hard.
yeah,
So I totally understand. So it's hard to meet with your friends.
yeah.
But I will say, and I recently moved in with my boyfriend, and we're in an apartment complex. I have made more friends in this apartment complex than I have like in all my life.
I love that. I love that.
And everyone is just so friendly here. And
It probably
I will
feels like
say,
a college dorm. Like you get to
yes,
like meet
it
all these
does. And
people.
who knows? Like the girl across the way, she knows everyone's business on the fourth floor. I'm like, who is this woman? And she's like in her 40s, but love her. And my other friend comes over. I'm like, I feel like I'm on Seinfeld and like Kramer's coming down the door, like knocking on my door. And I met someone the other day. So for advice for the girl that emailed you, I don't know if she's in an apartment building, but go outside, go for a walk, meet someone.
Yeah.
Like I went for a walk with my dog the other day. It helps too if you have a dog, but
Yeah,
she
go to the
also
dog
had a
park.
dog.
There's tons of people there.
Oh, exactly. Dog park. That's where you meet friends. I was walking my dog, German Shepherd, Luna, love her. And I met another girl who just got a puppy. And she was like, oh, we should go to the dog park together. And then I came up and she actually had a post-it on my door because I told her where I lived. And she was like, oh, I'm right there. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, because now we're trying to get together and have like a wine night or
Yeah.
something. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I made a friend in my 30s.
Yeah,
And
no,
you feel,
that
yeah.
I love that. And it's honestly also just like a byproduct of your environment. So like if you are surrounding yourself with these same people that like you're not even into anymore, like you're not gonna get anywhere. You're not gonna make new friendships. So like yeah, I sit here and I'm like I barely even see my friends, but I'm also a hermit. I like don't even leave my house. So it's like
Right.
you're living in an apartment complex. Like put yourself out there, go meet your
Exactly.
neighbors, go to the common areas, whatever that may be, whether it's the cafe, the dog park, anything. Like I used to live in apartment buildings like that too. And I didn't even think about that. I met so many people at
Yeah.
that
And
time and so naturally too.
it was, and that's the thing, it came natural. And I think too, because I do have a dog, it got me out walking.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I didn't, I'd just stay in my house and watch TV instead
Yeah.
of. So that's the thing. If I don't know if this girl has a dog or not, but if she does, go out, meet people. If not, that's totally fine. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
You know.
Just become a part of a community, whether it's a gym community, pick up a
Mhm.
hobby, like go do something.
A book club is good because I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot of women in book clubs.
Yeah. It's just like anything. Like just like
Mhm.
honestly, I don't know like what obviously I don't know what city this girl lives in, but like when
Right.
in the past I lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, I lived in Miami, I lived in Tampa, and when I lived in these
Oh my
places, I
God.
was always in Facebook groups that have
Yes.
like Hoboken had this like group Facebook group that was called like Girls Who Walk, and it was like or something like
Oh,
that, like
really?
Hot Girl Walks or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. I used to live in Jersey City. I wonder if we
Okay.
were there at the
It
same time.
it was probably the same group, and there was
Yeah.
like 22,000 people in the group. Like I'm not even kidding. Like
Oh
and they were
wow.
like meeting up on Sundays, going on these walks and like just like so much opportunity. And there would be like messages on the page that were like, is anyone going on Sunday? I'm going alone. Like, is there someone I can meet up with?
Oh,
Like
that's
things
so
like that,
fun.
like get in your Facebook groups in your cities, in your towns, like find what's local, whether it
Oh,
is
I love
a
that.
walking or a book club or a hobby. Another thing,
Mhm.
like when I lived in Hoboken, the girls who lived upstairs from me, they were in I think there was um they played like bar games. I don't know if it was
Oh, that's fun.
like corn what's that cornhole what
Oh,
are that
cornhole. Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah.
they were in these like leagues of like cornhole
Oh,
and like
cornhole tournaments.
yeah, like shit
Yeah.
like that. Like they were I don't know how they found it. But they used to like all go out together on like a Tuesday
Oh,
night to like
that's
these tournaments.
fun.
Keep in mind on Tuesdays I used to go to pottery. Like we just like we were Hoboken is the type of place where there's just like so much going on. So like
Yeah.
we were always like very involved in like whatever's happening in the community. So I feel like one my first thing is like stop putting the pressure on yourself to like for other people. It's like live your life, do
Totally.
your thing, take care of you, and like that's that. But then at the same time, it's also like put yourself out there to meet new people. You don't have to keep
Exactly.
talking to these friends. If you're in a group chat, leave the group chat. If it's just a matter of history that you've had with them and it's just, yeah, we've known each other forever, like, okay, cool, keep in touch. Happy birthday. Like, congrats on
But
the
distance
daughter, like,
yourself
whatever
if
the
you need
case is.
to.
Like, you don't have to maintain the friendship. And
Right.
then the next step, I feel like once you like heal and feel better, then the next step is like put yourself out there, get yourself like readily available to meet new people. Like, I also don't think you should like go into new friendships with just the mindset of like, I'm just getting out of this friendship, so I need a new one. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
like just
Well,
like
it's almost like a romantic
yeah,
relationship.
it's just like be yourself and just like be who you want to be. And like I feel like surround yourself with the community you want to surround yourself with, and then like
Mhm.
the right people will find you.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for doing that
Oh,
with
thank
me. And
you.
thank you for being here on the show. Is there
Of
anything you want to
course.
share with the girls before you go?
No, I had so much fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. Where can
Yeah.
everybody find you and connect with you online?
So I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Amanda_Carluccio. It's CARLUCCIO.
Yeah, we don't have that many Italians around here, so I don't
I
really know
know.
how to spell it. They'd be like CHEO.
Everyone forgets the O. It's
Yeah,
Carluccio.
yeah.
Yeah, and my podcast is Unapologetically Myself, and it's on Spotify. You can watch it on YouTube, and it's also on Apple Podcasts.
And may soon be. rebranded. So stay tuned.
Exactly. It may be something different, but we're not sure
tuned.
yet. We're going to keep it for now.
Yeah. No, this was amazing. Thank you so much for being here and connecting.
No, thanks for having me.